Roman Reigns has made his first few statements regarding Brock Lesnar's return, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also see the latest on Elias' story and much more. Let's start things off with the latest on Kevin Owens versus Elias and Ezekiel storyline over on WWE Raw. This storyline first started immediately the night after Night 2 of WrestleMania 38. Elias would make his long-awaited WWE return, but was calling himself Ezekiel, the younger brother of Elias. Kevin Owens was instantly annoyed with Ezekiel's presence because he was completely convinced that it was just Elias pretending to be someone else. So Kevin Owens becomes obsessed with the idea of exposing Ezekiel for just being Elias and not actually being his brother. What makes this story entertaining and fun to watch is that obviously Kevin Owens is right about his assumption on Elias being Ezekiel, but Ezekiel continues to troll Kevin Owens and make his head spin week after week. What WWE pulled off this week with Elias and Ezekiel was one of the most entertaining parts of Raw. They aired a backstage segment that showed both Elias and Ezekiel sitting down and having a casual conversation with each other backstage. Ezekiel told Elias about his journey so far in WWE, while Elias explained where he's been this whole time and how he was excited to perform in front of the WWE crowd once again. So for the first time in nearly a full calendar year, Elias made an appearance on WWE television. It was great to actually see the Elias character himself back in person and back to doing his usual act for the first time in a very long time in front of the fans. Elias' concert gets cut off pretty quickly by Kevin Owens, who calls out Elias and Ezekiel for just using movie magic and pre-recorded footage to make it look like there were two people. Elias smashes Kevin Owens with a guitar, which makes Kevin Owens retreat to the backstage area and come face to face with Ezekiel, which only messes with his head even more. Kevin Owens said that he wants to challenge Elias, Ezekiel, and even their older brothers and family members to a match next week on Raw. Now, the idea of there being a third brother was a funny line by Kevin Owens, but it's most likely not something we will see. It's already hard enough to pull off Ezekiel and Elias, so it'll be even more challenging to introduce a third character into the fold. But if Ezekiel wants to mess with Kevin Owens even more, maybe he does pretend to have another brother to really drive Owens insane. Something like that would be really entertaining as well. As far as the match next week, Kevin Owens made it an open challenge to any of the Elias brothers, but it looks like Ezekiel will be the one to most likely accept the challenge. Although it was a return for Elias, it looks like that Raw appearance might have been a one-off special appearance for the character. In an interview after Raw, Elias said that he'll be hitting the road once again since it's what he does, but that he wants WWE to keep taking care of his brother. So, some key words there that Elias isn't really back to being a full-time character, at least not at this point of the story. So Ezekiel will still be the more full-time persona for Elias. The reason why Elias can't really get that physical right now is most likely because of that fake beard. If that fake beard gets sweaty and falls off during a match, well, there goes your storyline. You'll be forced to take that story in a new direction after something like that happens on live TV. So that has to be something WWE is considering and thinking about. You can't put Elias in a position where that beard can rip off because the whole angle would be compromised. So it sounds like the Ezekiel character will be the one in charge of all the in-ring action for now. Everyone was talking about how great it was to see Elias back for one night. He was even using his old theme song that was taken away from him last summer, so it was just great to see him back all around. Fans are also talking about how they wish the Elias persona would be back full-time, and honestly, depending on what direction WWE wants to take it in, they already have seeds planted for a potential full Elias return. Elias came to Raw to help his brother out with Kevin Owens and prove to him that they were two separate individuals. Elias did say that he was going back on the road again, so if Kevin Owens brutally attacks Ezekiel over the next few months to the point that Ezekiel gets fully written off with a storyline injury, that will of course open up the path for Elias to take some time to grow out his beard and make a full return as the Elias persona. Elias would be returning from the road to avenge Ezekiel by taking care of Kevin Owens himself. So, for being a non-title, non-main event storyline, this Kevin Owens and Ezekiel feud has been absolutely great and very entertaining. Hopefully it does stay on a great pace, and hopefully the endgame payoff is getting Elias back full-time. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar will be squaring off for the 7th time in a premium live event title match at Summerslam 2022. Roman Reigns recently took to Twitter to share his initial reaction to the return of his longtime rival. He had this to say, quote, "I've been standing as the only one at the top of the mountain, on the island of relevancy, at the center of it all. One last whooping for the beast. Hashtag wreck everyone and leave." End quote. So the biggest takeaway from Roman's comments there is that he's hinting at this idea of this SummerSlam match being the final battle with each other. Do fans believe that this will be the final Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar match? Well, not really, considering the fact that the main event scene men's division is still pretty weak, and how Brock Lesnar is always WWE's fallback option. Who knows how many more times Roman and Brock will face each other in their careers. But Roman is at least giving the early impression that this is it. This is the final meeting and the final match between both of them. So if that turns out to be true, then once again, this is for all the marbles. Who will get the last laugh? Well, no matter who wins, it will still look like the same winner will have Drew McIntyre waiting for them at Clash at the Castle, with his home country crowd standing behind him. So if Brock Lesnar does pull it off and end Roman's title reign, it'll be Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar at Clash at the Castle. And that's going to be a bit poetic because remember, it was supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre in front of 70,000 fans back in 2020, but that was unable to take place. But if it is Drew versus Brock at Clash at the Castle, it'll really feel like what we were supposed to see at WrestleMania 36. Drew dethroning Brock Lesnar and finally having his big moment. If Roman retains against Brock Lesnar, similar idea. Drew McIntyre will still be seen as a big threat to knock off Roman Reigns. Roman has also been going back to using his old 2020 catchphrase of "wreck everyone and leave." This was the tagline that Roman was first using when returning in 2020. But it was later forgotten about after he started using other terms and catchphrases like "acknowledge me." But it looks like they're bringing back that line because of the context of Roman's new contract. He beats everyone and then takes some time off with his newly limited schedule. So that seems to be the newly slightly adjusted backstory behind the "wreck everyone and leave" catchphrase making a return in 2022. But what are your thoughts on Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? Are you excited for another meeting between the two of them? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.